I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 17th Historic Commission meeting. As you mentioned before, we have three commissioners in person. We have Chairman Walsh and Commissioner Nestor online. That makes five. When it's your time to come up and present, you'll hear the address call. Please come forward. Name and address, home address for the record. If you're vendors, to your home address for the record, and tell us about your project. You need four yes votes for your project to pass. Maybe we'll get started. You guys hear us online okay? Commissioner Walsh, you hear us good?
I can hear you.
Great. Okay. So just a quick roll call, Chairman Walsh.
Didn't hear you that time.
Roll call.
Chairman Walsh is here.
Okay. Chairman Nardi, Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Commissioners Worthy. I'm here, and Commissioner Nestor.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, so we have no minutes to enter for the record. One continued item, 99 Randolph Street. Is there anyone here from 99
Yes.
Randolph Street?
Yes.
Okay, come on up, ma'am. Name and address for the record.
Martha McCarthy, 99 Randolph Street.
Good, have a seat. And so we're moving the electric meters. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, in order to connect the solar panels that were put on my roof. Apparently, the electric company wanted them moved to the front.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised that the solar vendor isn't here making this request on your
Me
behalf.
too. Yes,
Who's the vendor?
Momentum.
Okay,
And they came a year ago, August, and put the panels on the roof. And there's a connection on the back of my house that's fairly not visible. You know, it's basically, but then they said that they couldn't connect it to the Eversource pipes in the road. Because I have, underground piping there. And they wanted it put on the front, or that is the side of my house, the driveway side of my house. I thought they had taken pictures of they put up a temporary.
Yeah, they
box,
said
but
they
not
would do that. I
connected.
never received the photos, however.
Alvin.
this is Alvin Allen.
Oh, yeah, I
This is
should
Alvin Allen.
recognize you, sorry. You didn't receive the photos?
I did not receive.
Oh, I thought you took them.
These are the photos that I took, but not of the actual.
Oh,
So
the
that
close,
day I took those photos, the contractor was there, stated that they would put up a unit and they would take photos and send to me. I never received those photos.
oh, okay, that's good too, yeah. But where the red line is where they're temporarily put. Although they will be visible when the leaves fall off that tree.
So this is your house here.
That is my house.
So this is the front of the house.
Yeah.
So they would go just to the right of the entrance.
And on the side, yeah, see that, the basement window,
Behind this.
it's
tree.
above the basement, above the basement window. You're pointing to the corner right now. of the
Go
house.
further right.
Yeah, yeah, it's on the side, not the front.
And that's what Eversource said to put it.
Yes. That's what I understood.
And usually there's an emergency shut off along with that. Is that?
I think that's what they're putting up.
Well, there'd usually be more than one. One's the meter. That's from Eversource,
I
that's just
think-
your electric meter.
I don't have an outside electric meter at this point.
Right, but what you're asking for is to have the electric meter moved. Right, and
Apparently,
there's another item that's usually with the solar panel, which is the emergency shut off, so if there's an emergency, there's another box. That they would shut off, which is usually on the outside of the building somewhere as well.
yeah, there's one on the back of the house.
Okay,
And I think that's what the emergency shut off
okay,
is.
so that's fine, I'm just asking if
Yeah.
it's, if that would be part of this, or if there's already one installed, if it's in the back, that's great.
That one's in the back, and
Okay.
I didn't realize that there was going to be an additional one here, you know. And before I signed the contract with the company, I was clear that they needed to come here for approval, both for the panels themselves and for whatever had to be done. And, I got a permit from the city for putting the panels on, but it hadn't been signed by this group. And it, you know, and then Eversource came out last fall to see where they were going to put this additional box that I didn't understand. And then they said that the city wouldn't let them dig up the road until the spring. And unfortunately, it was like a year ago, so I don't know if the same thing is going to happen this time. But the panels are in, and you really can't see them, definitely cannot see them from the front.
They're on the rear side of the home, the panels.
Yes.
You may be, well, yeah, maybe some visibility from Forest Park Ave, 'cause this is a corner
No,
lot.
it's, the only time you can see it is if you come down Garfield,
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
and you have to look.
irregardless, I mean, all that we can really deal with is what's
What's there,
here, which is the
right.
Eversource meter. at this
Yes.
point, right,
I guess, yes.
so that's kind of what's in front of us, so. And that's all, that's the only request, is the meter itself is coming from the basement to the outside, and there's our temporary
And, yeah, and
thing
then,
set up now.
and,
right.
yeah, and they're gonna dig down through the front
Yep.
yard to connect to the street.
Yep, okay. Any, questions from commissioners online?
No question, no.
No questions.
That's good. No questions? Okay. I'll open up to public comment. Would anyone like to speak for or against, the meter 99 Randolph? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. Entertain a motion, on the application for 99 Randolph Street to relocate the electric meter. And looks like safety disconnect from the to the outside of the house. On the right side, we're just above the basement window as noted in the photo.
So moved. Second.
Any other discussion, on that now?
So yes, Commissioner Walsh would like to ask a question. Is there's no other box going to be moved up there other than the potential shut off in the meter? Is this correct?
I understand that the shut off is on the back.
Well, yeah, it could be, but there's other boxes that would be on the back. So but they're not moving all of the control boxes over to the side as well. This is my question.
That I don't know. Just, I'm sorry that you never got that picture, because it was so clear what they were going to do.
That answer your question, Commissioner Walsh?
Hold on, I'm still having trouble. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna just expect it's those two boxes and not gonna move the other hardware from the back of the house. So I'm okay.
Okay, well, we're still gonna vote, but as we tell everybody, whatever we approve, that's what's approved. If you're gonna do something different or something else has to happen, you
Yeah.
gotta come back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, any other questions from commissioners? We first and the second and the motion on the table. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any extensions? Okay, motion carries. So. That's that.
All right, do I need paperwork?
No, Alvin can help you.
Okay.
The
Thank
building
you.
department will be tonight, but you can all coordinate, or you can go back to the building department, so. Have your approval.
Oh, all right,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, 3 Clarendon Street. Commissioners?
Will Brock, from the city of Springfield Office of Housing, Senior Project Manager for the Lake County Homes Program, represent, excuse me, on behalf of Alex Whisper and Jill Boyce of 3 Clarendon Street. Do we want to go over the hardship first or the programs?
Let's start with the appropriate stuff first, because I can probably easier.
Believe it or not, the hardships part will be here.
No,
Hardships, one item, there's a lot of items for programs.
so are we breaking this into 2 applications?
Do I need to break it into 2 applications?
So you can take, yeah, you're gonna have to take 2 separate motions for one for appropriate,
Okay.
one for hardship.
Alright. So let's start with appropriateness first.
Which one of this is a hardship?
So I didn't list the hardship on here,
Okay.
that was just the description of work, the hardship was just that one item, so I listed it on the box like that. I remember last time I came in, we were having trouble reading it, so I tried to,
It's very organized, I appreciate it. It made it, I was like, wow, what Homer did this, this is fabulous.
a couple of years seeing you guys. So we're gonna take care of the roof, is past its warranty period, replace the roof, siding, the siding is damaged and deteriorating areas. We're going to wrap and remove, installing new vinyl siding using Dutch cloud profile to match the original aesthetic, historical aesthetic.
So it already has that. It already has.
Yes.
the real thing.
No, I'm sorry, it doesn't currently have vinyl siding.
What's the current siding material?
That is, so it's been questioned, I would need to go to contract in order to have funding to, set up the inspection and everything, but there's a possibility that it's asbestos siding, which is why we're calling for the wrap of vinyl siding for asbestos abatement.
Okay, so that becomes important, because the siding kind of looks like it could be aluminum siding.
Okay. I mean, I can go and get you a closer.
Certainly doesn't look like wood, but they're
Yeah,
big,
it's
they're
definitely-
definitely big panels. But without being there, that it kind of looks like,
And even with
Aluminum
aluminum siding, commissioners, aluminum siding would be, I'm getting the feedback from the contractors right now, that it's very, very difficult to come by, especially in, the profile that we'd be looking for the historical value of the property.
okay,
Windows, so the windows within the building are old, damaged, energy, not energy efficient. Doesn't pertain to this particular meeting. So we're calling to replace the windows with new vinyl double insulated windows with matching grid patterns. I included the Pella, window pamphlet in this one. I was actually having a really difficult time finding the prairie style, window grid patterns, or a manufacturer that did them. Generally with any of these projects, as as you well know, we're putting these out for bid. I'm also including the historical commission's list of approved windows with that, with the bid documents.
so. You have, on the windows themselves, are there any replacement windows that are in the house at all right now?
Not that we identified from the initial inspection. It looks like, we've got the storm, the colors over them coming, but
I was gonna say, it looked like many of them still had storms.
yeah. Yeah, it looked like a couple of them still have the storms, but well, the original windows from everything that I have documentation. wise.
But it had picked the window, or you were bidding on when different
So,
manufacturers?
our goal here is to give the contractors that are being solicited to bid on the project the full view of the specifications that they're required to stick to the historical commission. As I said, in my research, Pella, seemed to be one of the only companies that was manufacturing with the prairie style, gray patterns on the exterior. But as I said, I also include the list of improved windows, so that contractors know that they are required to use those windows when bidding on the project.
And I think.
Yeah, yeah. And usually that's something that I think that in this meeting more so, sometimes, I usually leave that up to, you folks, because we've had one or two situations where we've gone with a different color, so.
What color will be, as you
Black.
know, black is an important consideration.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely fine with, adding the black trim, over there, portion, or dark trim.
And then, any questions from commissioners online about the windows?
No, not from me.
No, thank you.
Front porch?
All right, front porch flooring, guardrails, and handrails are old and deteriorated. Roof rolls were removed and disposed of the existing damaged porch flooring, and repair using tongue and groove flooring materials, and then repair of all joists to replace damaged treads, steps, handrails, guardrails as required using in-kind materials.
Picture of the actual porch. I know that's kind of a close up of it's hard to see from here what the kind of the railings look like and the baluster.
Yeah, so the balusters or the railings are kind of that like half, they're not technically to go, but they're that kind of half, half style with, the intertwined bars in between. It looks like there's two proposed. And then there's the iron rod. Handrail.
Okay, well, that's good, so we're gonna. Handrail, so you would keep the handrail,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
the contractor that eventually is contracted would decide whether they can, sand and paint it, or whether they need like, a new iron handrail, but that would be the expectation. Yes.
And what would the material be for the steps and the tongue and groove?
So it'd be tongue and groove for the flooring material. Generally, we do pressure treated for the steps with a paint, sanded paint to finish, after the curing period.
And how about for the tongue and groove?
Tongue and groove would need to be sanded painted as well.
And what material?
Tongue and groove would be generally pine. Or,
Yeah, so, yeah. Heard somebody from
this is
Right.
previously, we haven't really specified the pine or, the type of wood, but we just specified the tongue and groove.
and but the railings themselves would be reused or would all be?
The railings themselves would be
redone?
reused.
Okay, so everything that's there, the low railings, the balusters, the half moon piece, it's all gonna
Yeah. We
just go back on, and so we're just replacing the rotted wood,
Yeah.
right, in the handrail. Lattice stays the same?
Yep, that stays the same.
Any additions or additional comments online?
Yeah, if I could, the posts are gonna remain the same? In
Yes.
the decorative at the top
Yes, that's
won't
correct.
be changing? Okay, perfect, thank you.
This one is gutters, downspouts, and downspout extensions. As far as I can remember, I don't remember that there was dictation in terms of it needed to be a certain color or anything. Generally, we're calling for, white downspouts. So, but if you got the exterior, I wanted to go through. All right, tree trimming, another aspect that's, I wasn't sure whether it was kind of our purview or not in this meeting, so I included it anyway.
Thank you. Good for it. No.
Soffits, fat and fascia, so the entire soffit, fascia and soffits are showing signs of deterioration of rot extending out beyond the rakes. We're calling to repair and replace all soffit along the roof line using matching materials to existing and then paint to finish. And from the documentation, I don't see a ton of areas that look like they need, repair or replacement of the wood. Generally, it's a, scrape and repair.
Yeah, that's kind of, I didn't look like there's a lot of rotted wood or missing wood. Okay, you guys good in-house with this? You're just online, you guys good with the soffits and fascia?
Okay,
All right.
Okay.
Foundation masonry, we're calling to repoint the foundation overall. As you can see, certain areas of sparging. General repointing procedure.
Okay.
Repair and repoint of the chimney above the roof line. Looks like there's a crack as well. And once again, we're gonna get a better idea once we get up there, whether it needs to be rebuilt from a certain elevation or not, but that's the general calling for a chimney is just repoint and repair the crack.
So it look like there's anything more innately left, it's just been patched, right?
Yeah, just looks like a.
Now, I gotta know, does the Yagi antenna go back up on the chimney afterwards?
If the homeowner would like it, that would be, to me, more something that we would discuss in the roofing procedure, and if it's not a used structure any longer, we would look at it with the building profile.
So go back, please, Alvin, to that next. That's the backside of it, right?
Yeah.
The backside still has, kind of a
The
ridge
backside's
to it,
pretty
which is
solid.
kind of nice.
that's a different.
I'm assuming you were trying to look to match that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the right side entry, I'm sorry, should we move forward? or
Sure,
questions?
yeah.
So right side entryway, the guardrail, structural post, stair treads, and handrails are all old and starting to fail. Remove and properly dispose of existing damaged materials, and install new post guardrails, handrails, stair treads, and flooring with tongue groove materials, and then paint to finish. This structure in particular doesn't get a lot of sun, so because of that, you've got a lot of the rot from that wood. The structure itself is in pretty bad shape. And just to go over, I didn't see that the lattice was mentioned. We would look to replace the lattice in kind as well.
It'll be a wood lattice.
Yes.
Questions online about the side porch?
I'm okay.
So we have 4 basement windows, replaced with new vinyls on insulated. I would assume probably dark trim would be a standpoint on that one as well. The rear entry doors are in bad shape, replacement of both doors with new weather efficient doors and weather strips around the jambs, complete with new hinges and hardware and insulated caulk and seal. Install brake metal, as you can see from the pictures. Yeah. I can see what happened with that, you know, or at least what I think happened with that, but,
Do you have looking here, do you have a picture of like a proposed doors, a solid door?
I don't, I would say it would probably be a solid door with a rear entryway door that we would love to install, double, you know, an insulated, solid exterior door. And once again, this is in the rear of the property.
So the back door is not, as you know, visible from the public way, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. but
With
you
the
can see
city
it.
funded projects, everything on the exterior, I tell you guys about.
Doing a great job, though.
So it looks like we have a little bit further foundation repair. So there's been water infiltration in the basement due to damage to the pavement of the driveway. In the corner area right there, we're calling to jackhammer out that area of asphalt and report concrete slab that's pitched away from the foundation in order to help with the water penetration issue in that area. Back.
Okay, so with all of these. The roof's pretty defined, the siding, you still need to work on.
Okay.
Right, because that's undefined. The windows, you're anticipating using this. Color style window.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that that's gonna be, you know, the only window that the contract manufacturer would be able to find with that prairie style.
And do we have a model number on this one?
I don't have a specific model number.
Commissioner Nardi is the window model finder expert missing tonight. We gotta go online and pull up the stuff that we're missing. One thing that. How about observed traditional is what the name of the window is. Right? It's a very, yeah. Now, being black,
Yeah, electric.
okay, and front porch was pretty self-explanatory, right? Gutters, soffits. Masonry, chimney. Right, the main entry. The basement windows would be the same color as the.
Yep.
Only goes to black, right?
Mhm.
So the only other question mark would be the rear entry door. This one. Please look and see if we can even see it, because if we can't see it, then. We don't have to worry about it, but it can be seen from.
I wasn't sure if it would be seen that from the other side of the street there.
You might be able to see it off Bay, or you might be able to see it off the backside of Dartmouth, but. That's the side, right?
Yeah, so that would be the side right there, so it is visible from Bay Street right there.
But is it, that's the side porch, is that the door?
Yes, yeah, that's the right-hand side porch, that porch door that we're talking about. Actually.
You have rear entry.
No, that's a separate door. I
That's
apologize.
a different door you have for
Yeah,
rear,
that's the.
because if it's rear, it doesn't look like you can really see it, so. If we can't see it, then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty well.
Yeah.
Commissioner, you ready?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't think we can see it.
I agree.
Any questions from commissioners on this?
Not yet.
That's pretty good.
It's very good.
You just got a gold star bill, we're not even done yet. Just laying it out there. Great job.
I'm expecting.
Very
information on the
complete.
next, next time.
Very complete. Okay, there's no other questions from commissioners. I'll open it up to, public comment. Would anyone like to speak for or against?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What program?
So this is the ARPA Healthy Homes program that we were accepting applications for back in 2022, and is now, we're now trying to finalize the last applications that we had submitted, so.
Hello, Eric Swallow, 64 Washington Road. I would just ask that the treads be one solid piece of wood, not multiple pieces per step. It wasn't defined, so I just wanted to mention.
So you're in favor of
In
it if it
favor
has
of-
the treads?
If everything else sounds wonderful.
Okay.
We just want to, as long as that is defined.
Anyone else for or against?
Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road. I would like to speak for this proposal. I think it's wonderful. The scope of the project is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? We're good? Yeah, close the public comment.
Now I have a question.
Fire away.
Yeah, fire away. So now, we don't have a sample of what the siding might be. Did I hear that we don't have one?
A sample of the siding, and the thought was to set the siding aside, because there's
Okay.
nothing.
I just want to make a note on that when you're showing the pictures of the siding. I'm gonna assert that it is very likely to be asbestos. It's an unusual asbestos siding that was used in Springfield for a while. On homes in Springfield. So hopefully that won't incur too much extra expense on the removal or whatever else you have to do to mitigate it. But I just want to make sure we were separating them. I'm not hearing it as clearly as I wish I was today, but all right. So everything else is going to be separate. I'm good then. Thank you.
I do have a pending asbestos inspection report. I just have not received the report yet for the siding, so.
Okay, so again, the recommendation would be to let us vote on everything except for the siding and then come back.
Sure.
On the siding itself,
Absolutely.
right?
But that's just for the appropriateness.
Yeah.
We haven't got to.
So you have to finish the appropriations. Okay, so now we need the motion. On 3 Clarendon Street. So would be to replace the roof with 30-year asphalt roofing shingles. The windows, the Pella Reserve in black, as noted, with exterior grids, prior style, number 1 to match the existing historical design. Front porch, rebuilding of the porch and flooring and foundation, the supports. Replace the floor joists. The flooring is going to be tongue and groove. Post to stay, handrail will be refinished to stay. Gutters and downspouts. Soffit cementation board will be replaced or repaired as needed. Paint to finish. Repointing of the brick foundation. Repair of the repointing of the chimney. The floor side to match the existing bevel side. The right entry porch. Replacement of the structural porch, the guardrails, the handrails, church ruts, and flooring with tongue and groove materials. Just like the front porch to match. 4 basement replacement windows. black in color. And the, foundation repair. Someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Hey, hey now. Sarah moved, Benny second, thank you. Okay, any final discussion on this from commissioners?
No, only no, nothing else.
Uh, all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recused? Okay, you guys have it on that portion of it? All that is good, and now we have
So
the other item.
the hardship is, moving the electrical meter to the exterior of the property due to the scope of work and the dollar amount that's going to be, spent on this for, that we expect to spend on this project. Eversource is gonna require us to move the electrical meter to the exterior of the property.
Okay.
Generally, they dictate where it is. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of choices with that. What we have done previously is we've, asked the homeowner to create like a garden or something, something of that element, to kind of block it from view a little bit. Which I don't really see being an issue, based on the property, but
So they haven't told you? where
They-
it's-
they
you know where the
haven't told
electric
us.
panel is?
I don't in the basement, to be honest with you. I would
Well, I
assume that it's
kind
gonna
of
be-
assumed it was in the basement, but if
Yeah,
it was on the driveway side, then they would most likely put it.
I'm assuming just
Outside.
based on my experience with these projects, that it's gonna be probably on the Bay Street side right here, just from where the, the electrical is feeding
Mhm.
into it.
That's it. Like where the trees are.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd say it's most likely gonna be where that yellow space is right there, between those two porches.
With the clear, I mean, we're all just theorizing, but if it's a 3 Clarendon Street address, I would think it's coming in Clarendon Street. Into the street.
It
And
could
not from
be,
Bay Street, but I don't work for Eversource and I don't know the property, so I can't really.
so if it's not in that particular location, it would be more on like the driveway side right there,
Yeah.
which would be, there's nothing we can really do with that, to hide it.
Any suggestion on this?
Well, I know we can't make have a vote on something that we'd have no idea where it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, we have to know where they're gonna tell you to put it.
And
Yep.
that's something that I reasonably, so I have to have contractors bid on this appropriately.
Yeah.
I need this approval before I can even solicit bids from contractors on this project.
Well, we kind of have a conundrum because we can't approve it unless we know where it's gonna go, even if it's reasonable, we need to be able to point and say it's gonna be there. You know the process, it's not like,
I have previously, had this approved, in a very similar fashion. But I can absolutely go back and do more research and, see if I can find out.
Yeah, you can just
where it's
ask.
at. So,
Eversource, I mean, where it needs to be, we gotta go back to the siding, we can put it on the siding.
and realistically, I can't reach out to Eversource because that's something that the contractor is gonna have to do, but I can go into the property, find out where the box is and give you more of a general explanation of where my expectation of the
Right.
meters will be moved on the exterior.
If they have to put it on the side. like it's have.
Yeah, we just gotta know, yeah, that's all, we just gotta.
You said that you can contact Eversource, can the property owner contact?
The property owner account can absolutely, ask them to do that as well.
I would think they would most likely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wraps this.
All
Oh,
right.
did we miss anything on this?
Nope, that's it.
I think you have to continue. Yeah.
Make a motion to continue the meter and the siding to the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. If
So
it's too much time.
That's a second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Hey, 127 Forest Park Ave? Oh, Address for the record, please.
Lori Regan in 127 First Park.
Outstanding. Okay. Ongoing projects.
So my front porch is falling off, and it is rotting in a variety of areas. And it needs to be, renovated. So we are keeping everything in the same shape, mostly in the same materials, taking down the columns, but refinishing them so they can be used again. And, the side porch that is, partially enclosed, all the glassware will be taken down and reglazed and put back up, and any wood that's missing, repaired or possibly, thickened a little bit, so, cause some of it's like wobbly. And a contractor who came out, you can see it's kind of, the wood is melting.
Sure.
The contractor said whenever it had been renovated before, like you can, if you go see where it's like rotting right there, that they had used like a particle board thing and then painted over it, and that really is why.
Called it good for a while, right?
Yeah, while it's falling apart, and that was before I owned the house, so, and there's other repairs that need to get done, but I can only afford to do this one. You can see how rotted it is, and the floorboards are rotted too. So the part that's covered with glass, the floorboards aren't as bad, so they're gonna try to keep those. But the floorboard that's on the outside, you can see it's already covered with some plywood because there was holes in it. They're going to take that out, they're going to raise up the roof and support it because it is starting to droop down.
Yep.
And then they're gonna rebuild underneath.
Please show like just a view from the street.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, it's a very big front porch. It like wraps all the way around the house, all the way around the front and around part of the site.
So is the majority of the walls around concrete?
It's
Reading in, it's all stucco, right?
Yeah, I don't have any going into
That's
it.
been repaired. Yes. I mean, I kind of would
Yeah,
love to
yeah.
repair it with
Sorry,
something
good.
else, but
I
I was
haven't.
told that I could.
Sorry.
Sorry. So, yes, so the whole house is stucco, including the front porch, which you can't see with the overgrown bushes, they're not like that now. But, yes, in some of the stucco, there's pictures too, that there's cracks in the stucco and
Sure.
portions of it
Yeah.
missing. So everything you can see from the front would be repaired with stucco, and the stuff that's inside the porch that you can't see, the contractor recommended using like a beadboard type thing, so it would still look like, when you're standing on the porch, it would look like historical period, but instead of doing the concrete stucco on the inside, because it's,
Like Tony roof board.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like heavy and
Yep.
everything else.
Yep.
But he did say that, to ask you guys if there was any other options to stucco for just that lower part of the porch. That if there was any other options that would be available or be, that you guys have seen people use before, that makes sense. And he had said there's like different types of stone veneer that you can get that's more waterproof and stuff like that, but he said that that's really a you guys
Yeah,
decision.
I mean, generally, people kind of do their due diligence, they ask vendors. The board's always, what did it always look like? Well, how was it originally built? You're trying to keep it historic, it's part of the reason we bought the house, we're
Yeah.
trying to keep it historic, so that's all we can really. Judge it on or talk on, we don't really have the ability to offer suggestions, different finishes.
Okay,
Other than, if it was a similar house, or if you'd seen something from the WPA photos in 1939, and it was that way, and something was slightly different.
okay,
But we don't really have the ability to give advice, unfortunately.
okay, yeah, cause he was like, you might as well ask them if there was things.
Yeah,
because he
usually
said
we
there's,
can
like-
tell you what's not okay, but we
Right.
can't always
Well,
offer
yeah.
you like consulting things.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
maybe
he said
if you did
other
this, so.
houses have, there's some houses in
Yeah.
Springfield that are all stucco and some that are stucco also have
Yeah, if this has been stucco
Yeah, it's been
and you're
stucco.
suggesting stucco, then more than likely, you know, it would be more likely to be approved since that's what it already is, and was
Okay.
is kind of built that way.
Okay.
So. And none of the other wood trim, I don't see anything about wood trim, it's all just replacing the supports,
It's
removing
replacing,
everything,
and it's
rebuilding.
rebuilding, taking everything that's rotted out and
Yeah.
fixing all of the wood trim, yeah. And the trim above, all the roof line is gonna stay exactly the same,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be scraped, and all the
Yep.
columns are staying the same, they're
Columns
gonna
are the
take them
same.
down, and they're gonna rebuild anything that's rotten. And the columns already, you can't really tell from the street, but some of them are slightly different because of repairs that have been made over years, so like some of them are rounded to the bottom and some of them are square at the bottom, like. But he's like, I'll do it to match and cut out anything that's rotted, and then, if there's any discs that are missing, he'll build them and put them on.
But they would all match.
Yes, they would all basically be visually
So
exactly the
you
same.
would have
as
a,
this.
usually there's a, like you can see, there's a
Yep, the band and the decoration,
plate,
yep,
and then the pole and the stripe, and then the
Yes.
bottom and the base plate, which sounds like it's been
Yeah.
gone. But they would all be repaired
yes, to be kind of uniform and.
the same and installed back the
Do you
same.
know what it was historically before? When we round and square or whatever?
So they're all like this, but some of them, when they had replaced them, if you look at the bottom, some are rounded and then the square is this big and some of the squares are this big and some is, you know what I mean? So they basically did it to like raise the ports where they needed to, or they
Yeah,
cut something rod off and they did this. I think originally, like if you look at the back of the house, which is, you probably can't see from here, but there was double columns in a certain area, and in the front, kind of where you had just had the cursor right there, like next to the front column, immediately next to it, there looks like there might have used to be another column there, but since I've owned the house, it's always been just the one, but on the back, there's like a double.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that at some point, in some renovation, over however many hundred and some odd years, that they had taken them down, and he said he's gotta put up like a support.
Yep.
To make it, yeah,
And we're not doing anything with the, looks like all the roof, porch roof, the
Yeah,
shingles are
all
in really
that
good
is
shape,
good.
that's fine, we're not doing anything with that, it's just the headers and then the posts.
Yeah.
Anything from the commissioners online, any questions for the petitioner?
I'm just checking on the materials, all like materials being used.
except where there was particle board, he's not replacing, he's like, you can't use particle board.
Right.
Or did
Yeah.
that, did a
Yeah.
shoddy
Okay.
job, so.
Okay,
I just want to go to the commission, this application is under non-applicability. But I just put it on the agenda because I wasn't sure, so many pieces to it, I just wanted to make sure that you guys had a look at it. But if there's no change in design of material, then it falls under non-applicability, but if there are changes, then, it'd be another category.
well, I think it would change just to applicability, because if she's gonna move to replace that with appropriate finish material as opposed to the particle board that was there, that's not a change of material, that's a return kind of to original material, what it was likely to be. So I don't have any problem with that. Either way, it could fit.
But you wanna leave it on non-applicability?
That's fine if you guys feel like there's no.
Any other commissioners feel there's any, doesn't seem like there's any change, it's original.
And she was still.
And it's actually taking one of the parts that wasn't and bringing it back to original, so.
We didn't know that it was particle board, like it.
Yeah, no,
looked
it's
like
fine.
it was
Yeah,
painted,
no.
and then when it started to
Yeah, right
rot,
there.
it was
No, I have no problem with it being non-applicability. The only caveat always when we acknowledge the non-applicability is that if anything changes to structure or material, then you'll have to come back with an application again.
Exactly.
My apologies, okay, so you're changing the particle board to match the
right.
rest, so that
Well,
would be
yeah.
a change.
Well, I mean,
So-
it wouldn't, the particle board is rotten, so it would be replacing it with wood, which is what it's supposed to be, because he said it wouldn't even pass code if it was. If somebody came out and looked at it, they'd be like, no, but whoever did it and then painted it, and it looked like wood, but it was.
So do you wanna,
So I'd say go to appropriateness.
So we'll just-
Your advice, Alvin, is to just do it under appropriateness?
Yes.
That's right.
if I could just
Okay,
Sure.
either one works.
check that box and just put your initials next to it.
This one?
Yeah, the one at the top that just says appropriateness. Thanks. Okay, so any other questions on that? Commissioners, you're good? Okay, still go to public comment for this, right?
Yes.
Okay, open the floor to public comment. Anyone want to speak for or against the restoration of the porch at 127 Forest Park Ave? Or against? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. I would entertain a motion to approve the renovation and porch repair with all the same features as described in the layout, including the addition of the appropriate sills for the columns. Okay, any additional discussion on that?
I just have a question.
Sure.
So. Do I have you guys come back out at some point, or do I come back after the contractor starts work? Does somebody come and like make sure things are the way they're supposed to be? Do I?
Typically not, but
Okay.
usually it's a neighbor, but like, Commissioner Wall said, whatever we approve is
Yeah.
what we approve.
Yeah, yeah,
If you get a week into it and suddenly he says, I can't do this, I have to use this material, I
Yeah.
can't do that, I
Yeah,
have to
I
do
come
this,
back
this
and
thing's
say-
broken. He can't just keep going, then you have to
Right.
take a TV time out, come back on application, say, hey, we were gonna do this, but now I have to make a change.
okay. And do I get anything from you guys today?
You'll have
that-
something from that today, but from the building department probably tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
We got this finished.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you, that carries, so you're all set for your innovation that is described, and we'll make sure that you have something at the building in front of the.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, good luck with the project.
Thanks.
Washington Road.
Eric Swallow, 64 Washington Road.
Let's go.
Thank you. So I am planning to install 2 chimney caps and I have provided the design. I didn't find too much information about historical chimney caps. I believe they didn't actually install them. So I have with my contractor decided to go with the ridge and standing seams design if acceptable in bronze color, which is this one, but also he'll pull it up on there too, but it's this one. And bronze is in between the brown and black. And it will basically match the flashing to it's currently on my roof. The light flashing. That's basically the one right there, but you can go down. That's the design. But it'll be in bronze, which is not on these colors, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a really close match for the picture of my flashing. Yeah, in between the front.
That's a really nice thing.
I know, I was really excited about it.
Very elegant.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I was like, I like to see more of these.
Okay.
And it also goes over the, for those interested, it also, I'm gonna get the one that goes over the ridge. So that one right there, the ridge and standing seams.
Yep.
So it covers the masonry. Both chimneys, yeah.
Very soft, this one. Any questions from commissioners online?
Nope, not for me.
Nothing for me.
Very good. I'll open it up. Nothing from the commissioners. I'll open it up to public comment. Would anyone like to speak for or against the chimney cap? Is people Washington Street?
Harry Seymour. I would like to speak strongly for approving this proposal. I live at 68 Washington Road, and if you look at the picture on page 2, the picture, the house at the back that looks like a carriage house is my house. It used to be a carriage house, then it was moved forward. But I will see this lovely chimney cap every time I walk in the door.
And some sunglasses with the sun. Very good, thank you. Anyone else would speak for or against? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. I would entertain a motion from Commissioner to approve the installation of the 2 chimney caps. Bronze in color with the model it's noted here.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Good job. Good luck with your project.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
It looks awesome.
Maybe they're great, I'm not excited about that.
Okay, 577 Cruise Street. 577. How are you? Name and address of the record, please.
Thanks, I'm Brittany, I live at 24 Fruit Hill in Providence.
Okay, very good.
I'm here to represent CBI Consulting, which in turn represents this Coast T-Mobile's company. So the address is actually a church. So T-Mobile is doing it's an antenna swap, so it's already existent. You can see them right there. I looked at the records really quickly. The original install happened in 2009. It was my company. If they've done stuff since, we don't know how to check for that, but it is possible there has been work done since 2009 and now, just like we want to put at least that much out there. But essentially that means it has gone through the Section 106 review. The record says that it had a finding from the Massachusetts Historic Commission of no adverse effects at that time. I'm going to do the file review, we did a 500-foot radius, which essentially is just how however far a layman person might be able to look at that and notice it. It's an eligible property, and then there's like 2 eligible properties that are still extant in the area. Neither of them are visible from the steeple, so that's kind of how we come to the idea of no adverse properties, just to give you, I'm a very contextual thinker, so that's how I think about it. And then the other finding is that, so they already are on the building. So you have 4 corners, 3 of them have antennas, and then there's one, the only one you don't see is the one that has like a GPS antenna. 2 of those antennas and all 3 corners will be replaced. That's literally the only thing that's happening, and then they will be painted to match the building.
Kind of like
That's,
what's there, because the
Yeah,
antennas kind
and
of
so,
fade into the tan gray. Or
yeah,
white.
and at this angle, you can see it, but if you were to kind of come across and start strolling, it becomes really hard to notice it if you don't notice that they're there. Which is kind of the point of the painting for it, and that is in the exhibits. It's part of the planning. It's a fairly typical project for Massachusetts. I've noticed I've done a ton of these reviews, and Massachusetts loves to do antennas in steeples or on steeples and making them to match.
So we're just replacing
Yeah.
existing panels.
Yep.
We're not adding additional panels somewhere else. on the
No.
building? And
Not according to these.
there won't be any additional conduits on the outside of the building or replacing the panels that are there.
Nope. That everything is just the 3 sets of 2 antennas each.
Yeah.
So 6 total antennas will be swapped out. There will be some new lining that will be added, but it's gonna follow the same lining that already exists.
Right,
Which
Which is
it
inside,
follows,
is that right?
yeah, it follows within the church
Yeah.
wall.
okay.
You can see that within, they're really
Yeah.
not fun to read the exhibits,
No.
but,
Sure they are.
yeah, That's pretty much it.
And then you're gonna paint the
Well,
antennas to match.
so T-Mobile is,
Right
but yeah,
there.
we try that they do.
Whoever's doing it.
If they do an addendum, it is our responsibility to send you a new copy of an invite to comment letter, and then we do this process. But at this point, this is the lease exhibit that the product that they propose.
Any other questions from commissioners?
Yes, yes. Is there any change in the size of the antenna that's being replaced?
That is a good question. They're relatively
Yep,
the
I can
same.
I see it now, I think.
The measurements are probably not the same. I couldn't tell you them off the top of my head. They're at least exhibits. They're not going to be noticeable to the naked eye from that distance. Probably within about a foot at most.
In which length, width? They must be, you must have old dimensions versus new
Yeah,
dimensions in
There,
this.
if you scroll down, there's gonna be dimensions.
It says it right there. It says
Yeah.
7 foot.
Those are, so that's for the, that's the mounting detail.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so if you scroll down a little bit further,
Only because if it's a significantly larger thing, it could be visually different than what it is now. Although it's not likely, I'm just suggesting that I am interested in the size of the antennas that they're putting up.
I disagree with that. They're usually at the bottom. Maybe if you go up a little bit higher, this is the part that actually doesn't look at too closely, but they usually have those diagrams really in detail. All right, so if you zoom into that antenna and cable schedule, it will tell you it should tell you all the painful details of that. And you see number 4 says paint antennas and equipment to match existing stuff. And unfortunately, it's not great to read at this.
No.
Sizes.
Well, I can't read it.
Yeah, don't feel bad. We're in person on the big screen. We can't really see it well either.
Up and see if I can.
That's okay. It's not that important, other than it's not going to be a dramatic change in the visual.
Yeah, I can say that. So I look at like 20 of these every day, and they're usually antenna swaps, and they're usually a little larger, but not in any way that's, I would say, visually significant. And they're usually like 100, 150 feet up. So they go from, and then they're usually like between 50 to 65 pounds. So that's like usually the number I remember. I would say if there's anything, there's gonna be about a difference is gonna be in length, not in width or depth. And then it's usually gonna be within 6 to 12 inches. But I apologize.
That's
I don't
fine.
remember that off the top of my head.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Any other questions from commissioners on that? Want to read this first, or?
Yeah, there is a letter in there if you
Yes.
want to go to public comments.
Okay, just read the letter into the record. This is from the Hungry Hill Neighborhood Council, dated October 11th, Springfield Historic Commission. To the members of the Historic Commission, we, the Hungry Hill Neighborhood Council, are aware of the item on your agenda for the meeting of the 17th that pertains to the historically designated Our Lady of Hope. We understand that this is a request to take place to upgrade the antennas, etc. We're requesting that all antennas, conduits, and equipment visible from the exterior of the structure should be camouflaged by painting them to match the exterior. Thank you for your attention. This matter regards Hungry Hill Council, Michael A. Fenton, City Council.
So,
Courtesy conference. Okay, we'll go to public comment. Would anyone like to speak for or against the replacement of the antennas at 577 First Street? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. entertain a motion from the commissioner to approve the proposed replacement of existing antennas of 577 with the panels painted to match. All existing conduit will stay inside the building as it is now.
So moved.
I'm sorry.
Okay, any other discussion from commissioners on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You're all set, like you tell everybody, this is approved, if they get into the project and suddenly those panels aren't available, or they can't paint them, or they're gonna change something, and you wanna add something, you have to.
Yes, they are legally bound
So,
by
as long as-
6 to do
As
so.
long as it's, try to be consistent with everything.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, 161 Long Hill.
Hello. I'm Veronique Conis and I live at 161 Long Hill. I have with me my wonderful contractor and expert, Bill Butler.
William Butler, 172 Mount Vernon Road, Chicopee, Massachusetts.
And we are proposing to update the windows only on the 3rd floor of the residence. That's all I can afford right now. And to help the energy efficiency of the home, but also many of them are broken and pose a hazard to my children who live in the house.
Obviously, the existing windows are all wood, correct?
There, if I can speak, there currently are vinyl windows that are probably about 15 to 18 years old in the house. I know those aren't original, but I have a picture of. I have a picture of what was done to the house and it's very appealing. And I don't believe it's true to original, but if I could share this, yeah, all the windows are white, all the trimmer's white, and they did the house in that purple, and it looks really nice. So I brought 2 sample windows, one to represent what's currently there, and one to represent what I believe was there originally when they built the house. You know, so. But I know my client would prefer to keep it looking the way it does now.
So clean.
Yeah, it's very clean and very inviting, and it does look appropriate in my opinion. I mean, as you can see in that picture, those sashes were black originally, but.
Most were. Don't feel bad, most were.
Right, well,
Not all.
and I understand that, but the restoration that's been done to the house, they went with the white trim and the white windows with that purple. And it's really a really nice clean, and I believe it to be, historically correct. Not exactly what was, but it's what's there now as well.
Well, there's always a difference between what you find pleasing and what's historically correct, right? Because we know historically correct is black. Because that's what came on out.
I brought 2 samples.
So,
So that we don't have to come
it's
back.
all, it's fine, it's fine. So. Do we know what what replacement windows are in the house now? Are they in the back, around the back of the house, or?
They're all over.
Okay.
They're in the front.
But I
they're
don't
in the-
see any in the front, at least not on that shot, so unless they're on the porch or something.
How old's that picture?
That's
June 2024.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe they were where I was looking, up in the attic and stuff like that. There were.
The only ones I know of are on the side of the.
Side, oh yeah, the ones in the kitchen, yeah,
The
there were
kitchen.
some. And you know what, those were the Simon tins with the big chunky bottom, like this big.
I just bought the house. I bought
Yeah, she didn't do it.
the
Oh,
other
hey.
I had no idea.
It's all good. It's all
Those
good.
are the ones,
Yes,
yeah.
those 2 right where your cursor is, those
Two
2
on
on
the
the
back.
bottom. Mhm.
Okay.
Those are the new replacement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
those
looks
are
like
the
the
ones,
rest is-
I'm sorry, I was remembering getting confused.
Probably see a
with
lot of
which
different
house.
houses. Good way you have the owner here, so she can.
Yeah, keep me in line.
What would we do without Google? We'd have to do field trips, we'd have to all get in the truck and go
I
out to the
miss
house,
field
right?
trips,
Stand in
though.
front of the
Come
house and
on.
talk. Okay, so you still got a lot of the storm windows. The windows in the back, real close. Okay, so. The request is for the third floor windows,
Correct.
is that right?
Mhm.
And would this be for all of the windows on the third floor, just the front
Yes,
windows?
all the windows on the third floor.
Okay, and what's the style window?
So it's the 6800,
So it's the-
it's the identical window that we're putting in Maple High Apartments, Maple and High Street. Just a different color and no grids because there's no grids currently.
And this one has the slim line.
It does,
You have the sample?
I have a sample now. Please forgive the internal grids on this one, it's only because it's a sample, it would. The only thing I would do is either no grids or the simulated divided lights as, you know, depicted in this one. But just for, as far as the outside goes. It has, you know, the slim sill that sits right down on the existing.
Yeah.
And it comes in and, you know, it's actually, it's very historically correct looking when it's in on the house. And then
How do you know if this one's on our approved list? I think we approved that once before.
you approved it like 4 times.
Okay. Well, I gotta ask Ken, 'cause
Okay, I'm sorry.
you might, you know,
I
you
don't-
might be remembering it from another project.
It's possible, but.
I remember the number though, but you know if this is one that's on our list, I guess we can check and see.
I'll check.
It seemed to remember model 6800 of the previous project, but.
I know, a couple months ago, 6800, that's what's going in Maple High. Apartments, corner of Maple and High Street, same window. Interstate, yep, interstate. You know, I've talked about it, but I don't think I ever went through, I know I haven't gone through the process of actually officially getting it on your approved list.
This was, there you go, so.
So that's why I always bring the window in. We'll have to talk about that sometime soon.
It may not be listed if this is a recent approval.
Yeah,
Any questions from the commissioners online?
Yeah, I do recognize that number. I believe it was approved, but it was color, it was dependent on the color.
That's
so I do have a colored version, but we are proposing to keep what's there as the white. But I did bring the colored version, this happens to be a bronze, but we have a black, and our black is actually completely black, inside and out, jam liners and everything.
Yeah.
The bronze, this is actually a painted one that we had made to match the color of an existing property. So when they get painted, we still have the white frame on the inside, but our black is black, completely black.
Yeah.
But it's the same window, just with the color. Well, for this particular job, we are proposing to keep what's there now, as far as the color being white.
No, if they're looking at the pictures between a couple of the older pictures and newer ones, I think that house would look just as nice with black windows as you think it does with white. It would be historically more accurate, but I also think it would look really good too. But, you know,
Oh,
as long as
that's
that,
why I brought both windows so that we could figure out what we're gonna do.
okay.
We don't care what the inside looks like. So if it's an aesthetic choice for your inside, that you want it white and you want to paint the outside darker, that would be fine. It's what it looks like from the street.
What we're trying to do is I don't know, can you see the picture? On here,
Yes.
we're trying to maintain that same look that we currently have with,
I understand.
so, okay.
As you know, we don't usually include.
I know
Yeah.
that, I'm very aware of that. And
So you guys, I mean, so you've got to kind of decide, you know, whether you want to propose that window in white or that window dark. I mean, you know that they're all dark, where we very rarely approve a big bright white window, even if it looks great, right? The historically appropriate piece is usually dark.
so,
It's up to you as the petitioner on what you want to
Yeah,
present.
I think
so.
for me. All of the other windows in the home function, you can lift them, none of the cords are broken, the weights are still there.
Yeah.
The third floor has the biggest problems with broken windows, and because they're so close to the floor and I have little kids, it's
Absolutely.
a problem.
Yeah.
And if the concern is having them match, then we're about to enter in a place where some of the windows are black and most of the others are white, so that will not make the house look good. And I'm not in a position to replace, 40 other windows right now. I'm only doing the third floor, which has the least
Yep.
number of windows.
Well, one of the
And only
things,
2 of them
right.
face the
so
street.
one of the things to think about is because you have storms on right now.
Yeah,
Are the storms, do they look like that?
yes, I haven't changed
So
anything since, I didn't even know you could take
So
this
most
off.
of the storms are they're gray, they're a weathered gray.
Yeah,
So you're not gonna see the white window. What you see is like a storm window with gray on it. So the window itself doesn't look bright white from the outside. The trim looks bright white. But because you have the storms on there, really you're seeing a lot of is gray. So, a darker window in that frame instead of, the storm window isn't gonna like poke your eye out black because you already have something that's not white anyway. The window behind it might be white, on the inside, you clearly see that it's white. But from the outside, if you have dark, like, if you have those storm windows, a lot of it's a darker tint with gray anyway, you already kind of have a gray aura around the windows. Once you take the storms off, whatever you put there is gonna be that, right in your face. So if it's bright white, it's gonna get even whiter. It's gonna look like the trim, it's gonna poke your eye out. The black isn't gonna be as black as you think it is because the storm windows that you have there are already kind of highlighted around. So I get what you're saying is there's gonna be stuff that maybe doesn't all match and blend, but to your point, you're doing things in stages. So this might be stage, there isn't anybody here that, didn't do things a little bit at a time based on what they could handle, so there's nothing that says you couldn't do the third floor in black and then next year I'll build and do the second floor and then do the first floor and then it will all match. But that's up to you.
can I have 5 minutes to talk with my client? And can we revisit this after you talk with somebody else, or do we have to do this right this second?
come back.
We can have 5 minutes so I can talk to my client.
Sure, we can suspend this hearing and we'll go on with the next
And we'll go.
petitioner.
I
Is that okay?
greatly appreciate that.
Sure.
Just, I wanna make sure I represent her properly. So, all
Okay,
right.
Terry Mason, we'll see you.
I know. Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, just for the record, leave the meeting, we're gonna suspend this hearing and move on to the next one and come back to it. 122 Fur Glade. Hey. Come on down. You're the next contestant on the school commission.
Hi there, I'm Anthony Templeton, I'm here from Advanced Window Systems, representing the Rivera Foods family, at 122 Fordway. And we're proposing, they just purchased a home. Hi, Vanna, and are looking to do the second floor first this year. With some new vinyl replacement windows, UPVC, they're paintable. One of the questions I guess I have is that Alan sent me, thank you very much, a beautiful photo from 1939. And in that photo, you can see that it's white trim on the exterior. It looks like the sashes are brown, like a Tudor brown, which we can definitely match. The grid pattern is pretty inconsistent. I mean, so I guess what I'm asking is, to some extent, is it restoration? Because the existing right now, somebody didn't do things the right way a little while ago. Looks like they got some replacement windows in it, and they're white exterior. So, I'm not trying to tattle on anybody. I'm just saying that's the
You
existing.
see it all the time, and people do whatever and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so just when I had quoted them out on it was, for white out, white in. With no trim, with no trim. But we have fully external grids that are also paintable. And the question is, do they have to have the external grids? First of all, I think that's the favorite door, yes. If we want to keep them external grids.
I mean, to be
Or to
historically
restore them-
appropriate, then
restore them
you need-
too, yeah.
Yes, you need external grids, they
Okay.
all came with external grids, so you would want external grids.
Perfect. And then color wise, or would we go back to the brown? To the dark color?
Fabulous, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have a musket
They
and
look
a
great.
Tudor brown, if you'd like to see that. And I have a window with me, if you'd like to see the external grids, they're.
We love showing town.
All right. very good.
So boards well.
Good,
It's a visual,
I don't
so,
lug this thing here for nothing.
paper one dimensional, it's hard to see stuff.
This sample actually has the Winchester interior, but this is the exterior. So that would be the external grid pattern, and it would be in a Tudor brown. This would also be Tudor brown. And I have a sample of the Tudor brown.
What's the manufacturer?
Okina in Eastern Pennsylvania. We did our own build for about 45 years. But the lease we had in Berlin, we started out in Marlboro in 78. Got too expensive, so we moved to a facility down, and that's the.
What's so the manufacturer is?
Okina is the manufacturer. These are all Energy Stars Okina, OKNA. And Amish. And, but they're,
Model number, the one you're.
they are vinyl, but it's a 14 chamber frame. I
else
just
do
want to show you.
Can you guys see the color on the screen?
Well, he brought a swap.
It's okay, I got it.
Steve Brown.
A lot of the windows, on the market are these dual chambered frames.
Mhm.
And that's because they're trying to use less material. We have a 14 chambered frame. This is our sash compared to this. It's fully insulated. This will be double pane. This is a triple pane here, but their Energy Star certified not fit that state.
And what's the model number on the one you're proposing?
The model number, I believe it's a Eagle 600. I can also, this is the NFRC sticker over here. You like a copy of the NFRC sticker and that has.
We just care what it looks like.
Okay.
We don't live there. But it sounds hard, but it's for us, it's just, what is it? Does it look like? the
Yes,
original window
so
on the
that's,
street?
yes,
Does
and
how does
it
look?
also
I know nobody
stipulated
really cares about
that
the
you folks
interior
like
and stuff,
the
that's
half screens, et cetera. So,
And this has it looks to have a thin
Oh, yes, yeah,
seat,
this
right?
is mostly, it's in the brace, but when it comes in, it's right here is against the interior stop.
Those
And
are
so-
always the things that we look for, they think.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Mhm.
slim, nothing's, you know.
Correct, so this
big
is all hidden inside,
Yeah.
it's not that at all. We do have a nice authentic beveled exterior as well, so it kind of harkens back to the day when people did the crown molding. Very nice.
And I know you'd seen a mix, is there an idea of how many would be
We
with
would-
grids and without?
You get a pretty good impression of which windows were supposed to be 6/1.
Yeah.
And we would mimic that all the way around.
Okay.
6/1, there's only, I believe, one that is a picture window and it looks to be original.
Mhm.
And I did send pictures to Mr. Allen about that one, and we would just do it as a picture window. So we're staying true to the grid pattern around the entire.
Everything
second
that's
floor.
already 6/1 would stay 6/1,
That is correct.
And then they'll split that middle.
and then you have the lonely one that's.
So the lonely one.
We're not actually touching that one, we're just
Okay.
doing the second floor.
All right,
Okay.
giddy up,
And maybe I'll see you again when we do the first floor.
excellent.
With that one.
So this.
Do y'all need, to see that window up close? You wanna hold-
That would be, yes, thank you.
Hi there. I don't know how close the camera is, because I don't have a.
It's like right. here.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the brown color.
Yeah.
It'll be Tudor brown, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This would be just the second floor windows?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I just have a question on this, it's the applications under appropriate. This.
Okay,
Is under appropriateness,
okay,
is that
I mean, it's,
still appropriate based on what's being proposed there?
I can bring up the appropriateness guidelines for you.
That'd be awesome.
So, these 5 bullet points, if it meets these 5 bullet points, then it'd be followed under appropriateness.
We do build the windows to spec, so there's no standard sizes. We remeasure and then build the windows for the openings. So no shims, no spacers, nothing else.
Commissioner Walsh, Commissioner Nespor, so these are the bullet points, the 5 bullet points if it meets the appropriateness standards.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so on that, it would meet that then. Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? Anybody, commissioners online?
I'm good.
Yes, that, I'm just reading through that. So that lower sash, it's not, the channel is not dramatic.
No, sir.
That's kind of slim.
Okay. Because that seems to be fitting all the requirements there.
So,
So,
any other questions from commissioners? Hearing none, I'll open it up to the floor. Anyone like to speak for or against the proposed window replacements at 122 for late out? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. I would entertain a motion to approve the placement of the second floor windows in Tudor brown with Oakland Eagle 600s with external grids. Any further discussion?
there was no other public commentary on that one?
Not on 122 for Glade, no.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recusals? Okay, so that passes with 5. Now said, like we always tell everybody, if anything changes, come see us first.
Absolutely. You got it. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
For your help.
You guys ready to come back?
We are.
Okay, we'll come back to 161, Long Hill.
Oh, again.
I'd like to thank you for giving us that chance to make sure that we are on the same page. We would like to propose the flat window for the 3rd floor attic of the house.
Okay, and these are all 1/1, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Correct.
None of these have grids, they're all
They're,
open pane. Okay, so it'd be the Interstate 6800 Envision window in black
yes, sir,
for the 3rd floor.
for the 3rd floor.
Okay. Any other questions, commissioners online on that?
No, sir.
No, I
Yes,
don't
sir.
have any.
Okay, open it up to, public comment, would anyone like to speak?
We
I'm
do
sorry.
have, I'm sorry, we do have a letter from this one.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes.
Thank you. Uh, October 17th, the members of the Springfield Historic Commission, I'm writing in regards to the application for replacement windows at 161 Long Hill Street. This house was owned for many years by the Agniti family, who I met, because like me, they were preservationists who deeply cared for their historic house. They even undertook the effort of removing the aluminum siding from the house to restore its original clapboards. Preservationists oppose installation of vinyl replacement windows because vinyl windows do not last as long as original windows made from old growth wood, and because the cost of replacement will likely not be recouped via energy savings over the course of the short lifetime of the window. Additionally, vinyl replacement windows often change the look of the original window. The model for replacement seems like it will change the look of the original window. Company advertises a feature that the window will appear different from a traditional window. Then he's got a picture of. However, the windows are all on the 3rd floor, which lessens this impact. I think that because the windows are on the 3rd floor, these windows in dark color would not dramatically change the look of the house. However, I would oppose an application for those windows to be installed on the more visible 1st and 2nd floors. Please note the homeowner that the windows on the rear of the house are not controlled by the Springfield Historic Commission and can be replaced without. Thank you, Ross Slate, 270. Now I open it up to public comment. Would anyone like to speak for or against the replacement of the windows on the 3rd floor, 161? Name, address, and record.
Eric as well, 64 Washington Road. I'd like to speak for this, and I also hate seeing vinyl windows put in, but I agree completely with the assessment, and I hope I'll see it when it comes on for 1st and 2nd, but I would recommend only painting 1st and 2nd floor. I should say I have toured the home, and I didn't notice any issues with windows on other floors, so I don't think that they're in need of replacement.
Thank you. Anyone else, or against? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public comment. That was the only letter. Right.
Yes.
Okay, I entertain a motion for the replacement of the Interstate 6800 windows Envision style in black.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion from councilors, commissioners? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recusals? Okay, you guys have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Good luck on your project, and we're saying all night.
Yes.
If anything changes, can't get the window, you're gonna come back and see us.
Do I have to reply to the gentleman who took the time to write?
No, he's just offering his opinion as part of the record.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Good night. Thanks for the candy there, Mr. Butler.
You're welcome. I'll bring more, I'll bring more next time.
Hey, 51 Clarendon Street.
Thank
Save the best for last.
Never done this.
The best for last. Look at all your learning tonight, though. You got to hear all these cases. I mean, I know I'm not Judge Judy or anything. I'm not as interesting, but, you know, hopefully you got something out of it.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Walker. The old windows that were in the house were outdated. Air will come through them.
One second, Mr. Walker. Your address is 51 Clarendon?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the windows that were coming in and out were outdated, very inefficient for energy. Oil, the heat would just go in and out. So the windows must be replaced. They couldn't lift them or down. So they were just in bad shape.
Okay. Okay, so what it looks like is your contractor pulled the permit. Right?
Yes.
Started installing the windows. And then the contractor called in just to check.
Right.
And then when he called in, the building department said, oh, by the way, that's in the historic commission and you actually have to come before the historic commission to get the windows approved.
Right.
So how many of the windows are already in?
Third floor.
Okay, okay,
And the bathroom window. 1 second.
14, is that,
It says 14.
that's what's on there, does that sound about right, about half maybe of the house?
Well, actually, more than that.
Okay,
All third floor or fourth floor. The only windows that haven't been installed on the second floor. Every-
I'll read in the email from Mr. Couture.
yeah. Do we have any pictures of the windows themselves? That are being installed, I mean, there's, you know, proposal, but it really doesn't
I thought he sent them, I mean.
show you the bunch. Do you have any, Alvin, do you have anything that?
I'm sorry.
Do we have any pictures of the windows that have already been installed? Or what the windows look like?
These are the pictures that he sent me. I don't know if it specifies what's been installed.
Sir, do those look like the windows that are already in your house?
Yeah, those are the current windows. Those are not, those are the ones.
Those aren't the new ones.
No, those are not the new ones. Those are the old windows. Those are. As long as I've lived in that house. Last time I seen black windows in there was in the 60s, maybe 70s. But other than that, those were, they were aluminum windows. They were all replacement.
Okay.
Before.
So these pictures are just before the windows got installed. So I don't know if you guys can hear. The pictures are the windows before they got installed. Did you see the email explaining that they were given a permit? And they started to put the windows in. And then, they have 14 of 24 windows in. And then Dave called and said the permit was made by mistake. But they already put
Yeah,
14 windows in and he ordered,
they're already paid for.
they already paid for the windows
So
to install.
I guess procedurally, like what do we do?
Yeah,
I
great
mean,
question.
I don't know what to do at this point. We can't see what windows are being proposed. And based on what's already in motion, I mean, what are we gonna do? Tell a homeowner he's gotta take all the windows out? If we don't approve of the window that would be suggested?
Bob's not on tonight, right?
But
I believe he is.
Attorney Shuchuk, are you on?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on. I mean, I think you kind of nailed it on the head.
Point.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on the head. I mean, are they gonna really is the judge really gonna have them take out windows that are already installed but I mean, they could, but so it would be up to you guys, but
From a process perspective, it's like, how do we?
yeah,
I
exactly.
almost feel like we shouldn't be, it's not appropriate for us to be reviewing it, because they issued a building permit for it, and the guy spent his money, he relied on the contractor just happened to call in, and I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's perfect for a hardship because it's like it's a very it doesn't happen often, so it would be for situations like this. So
Attorney Chuchuk, that's actually what I was after, exactly that. That it would be a hardship to do anything else, but we don't want to make it, it has to be the hardship, so it's representing only that property.
yes, yes.
So, thank you. You answered the question I was getting to.
Yep.
so I guess that's. You guys have any other questions about? I mean, open it up to public comment. Anyone like to speak for or against? The proposed windows for 51 Clarendon Street?
I would speak for it. I'm Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road. I feel for the position that the homeowner's in. But I also think there should be some follow-up with what happened with the building codes and why that was approved in the first place.
Yeah, there it is. There's no one.
Oh,
Third floor.
at the top,
Yes.
that's a new one that just got put in?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
First-
first, yeah.
Yeah, first floor's got
Also the new one.
No, just there.
And can we zoom in?
It's gonna hurt.
Like that top one, so the top ones were done.
Yeah,
And
those
they
were done.
and they just have to do the second.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So the top window is new. You can see it right there.
Okay, let's
But
we come back to this. Let's finish public comment. Thanks, Harry. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
So just so I understand, you're voting on a hardship for the situation?
Correct.
Okay, I would vote that I'm against this because there's no data to show that there is a hardship. I believe that the contractor and or homeowner should need to provide the financial data of what the hardship is. This is clearly a process mix-up, so as a resident, we don't know what the windows are. Of course, there's a mix-up here. If it is shown it's gonna cost the homeowner this amount of money, or is the contractor gonna sink that cost because they made a mistaken process? I would support it if it was either showing that the homeowner was gonna incur additional costs that was out of the range of possibility, or if the contractor was gonna sink the cost, but what I can see here, I think those are 1/1s in the originals, and they are aluminum, but they're putting in 1/1 white vinyl, it looks
Okay,
like.
so for against.
I'm against it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone, you're none others, I'll close, public comment. I would entertain a motion to, approve under hardship the remaining windows being installed in the house with the windows from all sides as listed in the application. File 301 Mezzo.
So moved.
Wait a second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I have a little go ahead,
Go ahead, then.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but did we determine that the city issued the permit? So it wasn't that they didn't go get a permit, that the city issued a permit.
Yes.
They issued the permit, the contractor was given a permit, And we wouldn't even be aware of it if the contractor didn't call it, right?
Okay.
So that he
Okay.
called in for something, either to double check or to check something else, and once he was notified that there was a problem, he notified the owner, and then they came here.
Right, but the initial mistake was made by the city.
Correct. Building department.
All right, so, you know, where the gray area, the hardship is kind of that, but to have somebody have to redo all windows with no, you know, when the city made the mistake. Anything, my suggestion only is that if there was, and this is for the owner, if there's any mitigation he can do to make them either appear more original. That upper window is just not the way we want them to look. But he did not do this to us. If it's being presented to us correctly, the city did this. They could have, you know, sent them to us right away, and this wouldn't be happening. So, anyway, that's it.
Commissioner Nestor, anything?
I have no other comment.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You guys have it. Yeah.
That's me a lot. 2012, we have purchased siding place over the house. That's I'm disabled.
Yep.
Job, we buy the house. So, you know, we keep the house well. They siding our house, so we didn't have to continuously in it for years. And we were in the process of putting the siding up on the house. And we were putting the insulation on the outside of the house. Then the historical commission came in because I guess the contractor didn't.
Yeah.
And he stated to us that if we did not remove
What's
the insulation
Yeah.
right of the house every day, they would fine us $100.
So that wasn't a historical commission, that was probably a building inspector.
You probably didn't pull a permit.
Okay, so is it possible because the neighbor to the left has siding,
So-
the neighbor to the right has siding?
It doesn't matter. So you live in a historic district, right? So we all have the same standards. We live in a historic district. It doesn't matter if somebody put something on that's not historic for whatever reason, whether they came before us, didn't come before us, did it on a Saturday afternoon. It doesn't matter. Typically, you want things that look historic, that are as close to original materials. You have certain people come try and match the original wood, even though the wood's 150 years old. So typically, replacement windows have a much higher standard, as does siding. And as a rule of thumb, vinyl siding is not historic. So you would have to maybe spend some time with Alvin or a contractor to find something that would look like clapboard.
Okay.
Like if you were gonna use wood clapboard, that's what's there, that's very desirable, right? If you're not gonna use that, then you gotta do some homework and find something that's kind of do what you're trying to have it do, which is low maintenance and, right, so.
Okay, so that would be a whole different case.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
I like you there. Thanks for hanging.
We have nothing else. All right, go to public speak out, and like to speak out,
Should I do it from here?
you can.
Okay. Erica Swallow, 64 Washington Road, speaking on behalf of the Springfield Preservation Trust at 74 Walnut Street. We wanted to bring forward the Stern Square bench removal as a issue that we believe the Springfield, the Historical Commission should be reviewing. The Parks Department in July removed the 136-year-old Stern Square bench. It is a historical fixture in the park. I know you're already reviewing a request to be on next month's agenda, but the trust wanted to go ahead and report it on public record here to say that a historical structure of that significance should not be removed without public comment. and that it should be protected, so we would like to, we believe that the Springfield Historical Commission should be overseeing not just buildings, but also structures such as public art, or you know, benches, gazebos, et cetera, items that are significant historically, culturally, architecturally, and monetarily to the city. There have been, I was in contact with Director Ash from the Park Department, who said they have no plans to return it, and they don't have a budget to repair it, which is a problem for Springfield residents when our city makes these choices without our input. So we would hope that in reviewing, I know the legal is reviewing the request to be on next month's agenda, but we would hope in reviewing that you also would agree that it's important that residents get to take part in conversations regarding our historical features of the city.
Thank you. Harry, anything?
So, yeah. Well, the night.
Okay, any other items?
Just have one thing to add, so Bob and Carol, who sits on the Community Preservation Committee, I'm not sure if I sent you guys an email or not, but they are seeking someone from this board to sit in on their, I forget what they call it, it's MGM, they have like a fund, a mitigation fund, but they're looking for someone from this board to sit on that particular committee to, I guess, render decisions based upon applicant or anyone who is seeking funding through that source. So we can put it on for the next meeting, because I just got it yesterday, so I couldn't put it on the agenda, but I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. And that's upcoming, that they are looking for someone to sit.
Guys, here online, hear that?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That's all I have.
Alvin's a low speaker, so you know. Well, next-
We can put
The
it on
good
next
speaker, the good speaker.
That's all.
Okay, anything, any other commissioners? If not, I have an entertain, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Yes.
All right.
Any opposed? Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.